Hello farmers, and welcome back to Pichonniere Valley on Farming Simulator 25. We are in the month of March, and I think, well, we ended up at the end of last stream when we were on here. We were planting, I want to say, some oats over in this field over here, if I do remember correctly, and we got some stones in there. I think we want to take care of the stones right away if we can. It does need rolling, and I was told by Branding that there was a roller on the mod hub. I didn't find it. That's why it took me a second to get the stream going, because I logged in and went, oh crud, I kind of forgot a couple things, mods I wanted to download. One was a roller and one was a harvester. So I'm probably going to be starting off today in just a minute rolling up that oat field. But yeah, we got ourselves a little bit of a surprise. I think there was some over here. I do have the Vredo DLC, which comes out on Tuesday the 24th. Got early access to it. And, oh, there were some over here just a second ago. Well, I don't see any wild boars currently. They disappeared. So, yeah, we got the wild boars. We got the Vredo pack ready to go. I don't think we'll be doing anything with the Vredo pack today, but the wild boars are out and about. We need to take care of that ASAP. Hello, John. Welcome. Hope you're having a good Friday so far. So, with the wild boars, I'm just trying to see if I got any in my fields currently. Hopefully we don't. Because we do got the crop destruction turned on for the wild boars. The one thing that may help us with wild boars not getting any destruction is we need to put down some feeding troughs for them. So we're going to go to the store. Actually, while we're here, let me go to rollers. Is it here? Yes, the Dablo Hydroflex 5.2 only costs 3,100 as a 5.2 meter wide working width, which is not too bad. We're going to go ahead and buy that. So we'll have to go up to the store and grab that and roll our field. Hopefully it gets rid of the stones. But also while we're here, we got to go into construction. We got to go down to animals. Then we got to go to other. And then we got ourselves the feeding troughs. Now, I'm not too sure what the difference is. If you saw my video about an hour or so ago that got released, we got some feeding troughs for the wild boars. Apparently, we got to put down about 5 of these, and that should take care of the wild boar problem. And you want to put down next to some wooded areas. These require hay, but when you buy them, they come with hay in it. So it's kind of a weird thing. You can see feeding stations are used to help foresters feed wild animals in winter. In return, foresters will help you reduce crop damage. It doesn't say it'll eliminate crop damage, it says reduce crop damage, and that is only on the wild boars. So yeah, we need about 5 of these, and I want to put them around our fields. Instead, put them down, at least I think they said put it down next to a forest area. So we're going to go ahead and put down probably the more expensive ones, I guess. We'll put one down here, and you can't put them all next to one another, so we'll put one there. So let's see, we got another field. Well, we got a field here. Where do I want to put? I don't think you really have to put them next to your fields, but that's what we're going to do. Let's see here. We got our cow barn there. Well, in November, you'll be refilling these in October and November. So my crop should be gone by then. So we're going to pop one down here. We also got ourselves a field over here, of course. I don't know if I got room to put one down here. I think we can sneak one in right over here. That's number 3. Of course, we got our grass fields. Let's go ahead and just put one down. Overlaps with another object. We can probably just put down free placement if I wanted to. Well, you know what? We'll just put it right there is fine. I think that's number 4. And, of course, we got a field over here. So we'll put one down. Let's see here. Don't want to block the road because I don't drive through this road too often. You know what? Oh, no, you can't put them too close to one another. How close am I? That's weird because before, when I was doing the test, it says you can't if you can't place them too close to one another. So now it just says can't be placed here. So you got to be a certain distance from one another. Let's just go ahead and throw it down. I do kind of drive through here once in a while, don't I? All right, we'll just put it down. Yeah, I'll put it down there for now. Was that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I put down 5. So they said 5 should do it. We shall see. So yeah, wild boars. We also got, like I said, the seed drills for the grass field. Where did I go past it? Drills. There we go. There are 3 of them. So in doing the testing, there they are, the Vredo pack. There are 3 drills. We don't need to reseed our grass field until after about 9 harvests. We're probably going to see some of that effect today of what happens. Actually, the grass field will be cut next month. But yeah, as you go around in your grass field, as Sam kind of beds down the grass field, we'll get some wear and tear in the grass field. And right now, we don't see any of that showing up here, but I'm pretty sure next month when I cut the grass, we will have some issues. But we bought our roller for our oat field. We need to get rid of those stones. So let's hop into the head up to the store and grab ourselves that roller. And we'll go roll in our oat field. 1, it will increase our yield a little bit, but 2, hopefully it'll get rid of the stones all the way. It may not. I may have to roll the field twice, which means once this year and once again next year. Let's throw on the beacons. There we go. Yes, Lindsay, if you want, you got to buy the DLC that comes out on Tuesday. Well, you can pre-order it. Or if you have the Season 2 pass. But you need the DLC for the wild boars. That is part of the DLC. And again, if you didn't see the video earlier this morning, if you like the pack but you don't want the crop damage, you can come down to settings and go all the way down. So it'll be in the Vredo pack. Wildlife crop damage, you can turn it off or leave it on. And the grassland damage, you can leave on or off. So, I mean, if you want the pack but don't want to deal with the extra damage, you do have the option of turning those off. And that's the great thing, as we've said many times here in Farming Simulator 25, or Farming Simulator in general. It's nice that they add the things, but they also give us the option of either having it on or off while keeping the visuals. But you'll see when we cut the grass field in April, we should see some bare spots. It's not going to be huge. I think what they said was after about 9 harvests, you're going to lose about 5% yield. So it's not that big of a decrease. But it is something. But meanwhile, here in Pichonniere Valley, as far as we got into, we're doing pretty good. The last 2 streams I have purchased 2 fields. So we got 2 new fields we're going to be harvesting this year. I did add another combine harvester to the Let's Play. We may upgrade our combine, but I don't think it'll be this year because they are kind of expensive. And with the amount of fields we got, doing it with a 6-meter wide header is starting to get maybe a little bit too much. But I don't think I'll have the money for it this year. Plus, I need to save up for the dairy production as well. Kind of glad I did get the early access to this DLC pack, because on the 24th, when this DLC does come out, Roadcraft should also have a DLC coming out, and I kind of want to get into that more so than this DLC. The DLC for this, I was more interested in the wild boars and what that was going to be all about and how to feed them. But again, the way they described it, technically we're not feeding the wild boars. We are feeding the deer, basically, and the forester, because we're taking care of the deer, are going to take care of the wild boars. How they're doing it, we don't know. But they are taking care of them. Obviously, when this was announced, a lot of people had, well, this is how we get rid of boars. Can't really do that in this game because then they'll lose the rating that they have for E for everyone. So, got to keep it very family friendly, I guess is what I will use as a term. So, yeah, all we know is that the forester will help in the crop destruction and the wild boars. No, I did not get a chance to check out the information on it. If you're asking about the Roadcraft DLC, I didn't get a chance because I was too busy yesterday after the stream testing out this DLC for Farm Sim 25 and making a video. That video I made this morning, actually was my second recording of that episode because I recorded and I did some testing on the grassland of the Vredo pack. And then after I got the video done, Giants released their video on exactly how the pack works. And then the test I did and the video I did was all pretty much thrown out the window. So I recorded and did testing on grasslands for about 2 hours. And then, edited the video, even uploaded the video, then saw Giants release an episode on how this grass damage works and all that. And I was like, well, all the work I did is mute, so how to record it. So that video you saw this morning overall probably took me about 5 or 6 hours to make that eventually to where it is now. Hello, Bob and Miles. Welcome. Hope you guys are having a good Friday so far. Oops, speaking of wild boars, there are the wild boars right there in our grass field. Are they frozen in time? Did I scare them when I came around the corner? Nope, they're moving. So I'm not sure if the feeding troughs and the forester is going to take effect right away. Now, those feeding troughs do take hay, and we should get, well, maybe not this year because we didn't go through winter, but we will get contracts on refilling those in October and November. So the feeding troughs take 6,000 liters apiece. We got 5 of them, so I need 30,000 liters of hay. When October/November come around the corner. I have not rolled a field in forever, so this ought to be interesting. I can barely see the difference, but there is a difference. It looks like the stones are disappearing. So that won't damage our equipment too much. Yeah, so it's not getting rid of the stones completely. I see a couple of stones that we just went over. They did not disappear. Oh, and by the way, what day did I stream this? Tuesday? I think we were streaming Tuesday on here. The ground texture that we were seeing on Tuesday, after the update, I guess that is a known issue where the ground texture having some issues. So, yeah. We'll have to wait for a hot fix for that. Yes, we're not getting rid of all the stones here, but we're going to get rid of most of them. Not sure I understand the question, Bob. It was a hit or miss if I be streaming now. Well, there's a couple things that probably are mixing a lot of people up. One, was it last week? I think it was last week or the week before. We did, here in the States, move our clocks ahead an hour. And two, I am also streaming an hour earlier. So in some cases, for a lot of you, I'm probably streaming 2 hours earlier than usual. And the reason why I'm kind of changing my hours around a little bit, well, I mean, I moved up by about an hour, is just because with summer coming, I want to start the stream a little bit earlier, so maybe I can end a little bit earlier and get outside, do some housework while the sun is out. So, and plus for the most time, I am pretty much ready for my streams at this time, so I was just kind of like walking around the house for about an hour or so. I was like, you know what, I'm just not doing nothing, might as well just stream anyways. So yeah, we're starting about an hour earlier, but in some cases, for some people, it might be 2 hours earlier. Yeah, and yesterday's stream was rather short. I was not expecting to get through the missions on Roadcraft as fast as we did. But those missions were relatively easy, other than the one little issue that we were having with one of the stackers on the pipes resetting. So we got some wild boars in this field. So again, I'm just trying to see overall. So we rolled this part of the field. We're up to 99%. The non-rolled part is 98%. So the people that say, why don't I roll? So with precision farming, rolling only increases the yield by 1%. The only reason why I'm rolling this field now is because we got stones. And this is the first time I've played with stones on since Riverbend Springs. So I'm just trying to get rid of the stones, really. So we'll see the effects of the grass damage next month when we, April, when we cut the grass. I'll kind of show it before and after what the grass field looks like. So we're not getting rid of all the stones, but maybe by next year, or whenever I re-drill this field, and I roll it again, all the stones would be gone. We do have some nice slurry tankers that you could use in the pack as well, but they do go over our horsepower requirement, so that's going to be something that we probably won't be doing here. We don't need the beacons on anymore. So how convenient, the wild boars are just going to roam our field for now. Hopefully they don't do any crop damage, but if they do, then that's just part of it. At least I can see the texture difference between what the drill did and what the roller's doing. Trying to figure out on these stones, which stones look, because they kind of look all the same, but some are disappearing, some are not. So it's like a 50-50 chance when I go over them that they'll disappear with a roller. And if I go over them a couple times, they just go over, because I went over that one twice now, and those finally went in. Let me just see here. We got some more stones over here that I've been over. If I go over them again, will they go in? Ah, so you go over them twice, they'll go in on the ones that didn't. So at least the feeding troughs for the deer are not that expensive. And it did seem in my video I did this morning, after I put down the feed troughs, I did not get any crop destruction from the wild boars. Geez, now I got wild boars in my grass field. Or some have roamed from this over to there. Well, I forgot to download the mod of, I think it's called Neighbors. You know what? I actually might, after we get done with the rolling, that was I knew there was a mod I kind of forgot to try. But that mod came out a couple days ago. Maybe after we get done with the rolling, we'll get back to the main menu and download the mod Neighbors. I forgot what it's called, but it should be that we get to see other farmers doing work in their fields. Yeah, the triggers for the feed troughs, at least for putting in loose hay, is very finicky. But at least we know that it will take loose straw and bales. A few more trips around this field and we'll be all set. Yeah, looks like they're leaving this field and going over to the grass field. Kind of blend into the soil there, but not so much over there. They don't seem to be too afraid of the tractor right now. I'm going to be kind of curious, because I kind of noticed it when I was doing the video. I was recording the video yesterday afternoon, and I'm kind of seeing it here. I'm not seeing any deer. I'm just seeing the wild boars. So if you are wondering, the Vredo pack is compatible with precision farming. And I will say I was kind of taken aback once I saw Giants release their video yesterday after I recorded mine. I thought it was just kind of weird the way it was worded when it said overseeding a grass. But the way it's kind of done is you're just reseeding the grass field from on the damaged parts. But I guess it all depends on how you actually look at that word overseeding. It's not going to increase your yield in the grass field, it'll just maintain it. Well, I wouldn't think they would replace the deer for the wild boars, only because the feeding troughs are for the deer. So, yeah, I don't know. But we'll keep our eye out. And keep your eye out, because I may see a deer and forget about I was looking for them, so we'll see. It'd be kind of cool if you actually saw the deer at the feeding troughs, but technically from the wording, and from what I saw when I did the test yesterday, the hay is only going to disappear in the winter months. So even though we bought them, and they're full of hay when you buy them, we're not going to see the hay disappear until the upcoming winter. But it'd be kind of cool if you saw the deer at those hay troughs every once in a while. And from the pictures I saw from Giants, the wild boars, when they do crop destruction, it's kind of a decent sized area that they will damage. Well, at least with the roller, we are getting rid of most of the stone, and plus we're increasing our yield by a whopping 1%. So if we harvest 10,000 liters of oats off this field, that means I'll get an additional 100 liters. Because I rolled the field. Yeah, so again, if you were here Tuesday and you were here when I was planting this field and plowing the field, and we saw the ground textures get kind of hazy and cloudy and not rendering in properly. That is a known issue since the patch came out. I don't know how widespread of a problem it is, but we were seeing it in parts of our fields. So we should get to harvesting in today's stream, because we are in March. All of our fields are pretty much taken care of. So other than cutting our grass fields in April and doing the things that we normally do. Thought about getting myself a bigger roller because rollers don't require that much horsepower. But since it's a job I don't plan on doing too often, I do believe this is the roller that Branding was talking about last week or Tuesday. And since we're not allowed on this series to lease from the store, a $3,000 roller fits our budget. And also now the option is there to roll the fields if I want to. So I have to make sure that at the end of this farming season, not only do I have hay to make TMR for the cows, we got to make sure I got to have about 30,000 liters of hay for the feed troughs. And we may end up buying the one of the drills today. We'll have to see. If one comes up for sale, especially the big one, we'll definitely have a look at it if I got the finances to do so. Would be kind of interesting if you actually saw like a forester running over in our grass field trying to get the borers out of there. Actually, I need to have a look at that, the overseeder. I didn't really see how much the pricing was on that stuff when I was making that video for this morning. Did not see how much that stuff was going for. Can't tell if I've been over this section or not. Or is that just the way... Or it's just the way it looks, I guess. So if I went around the field another time, I think we would get rid of all the stone, but... I think for the most part, we got most of it. Let me just go into here. How much are those drills? So it's 60,000, we'll call it, for the overseeder. Now, Giants could not really say in their video that they released yesterday as well if the overseeder, as far as they knew for sure, obviously it works on grass, but they weren't sure about modded crops and how it was written in the files, if that would work or not. We can see there that the drill will plant that stuff, but we don't know if the grass destruction will work on alfalfa fields and such. Alright, so the field is rolled. Most of the stones have been taken care of. Let's see, where shall I park the roller? I mean, I should have enough sheds around here. Will the roller fit in here? I think so. Sam's checking out the parking spot before I back in, it looks like. That turns awfully quick. That's good enough. I need to double check on a few things. So I know all of our productions, other than the dairy, are turned off, right? So the mayonnaise should be turned off. The oil production, we got no oil going in there, so that's turned off. But the dairy production should be going. And speaking of the dairy, our cows are good for 2 months. The chickens are good for 2.5 months. And how much milk? They got 5,000 liters of milk. So let's go ahead and get that in the dairy production. Because you never know when I want to sell cheese and get a little bit of extra cash. Speaking of cheese... That was kind of convenient that the light came on just as I backed up. Did the cows have straw? Yes, they got straw. And we'll leave the fence attached right to that because I'm pretty sure I'll be getting the milk first thing in the morning. Let me go ahead and save our file here. Save twice for good luck. We're going to go back to the main menu. And I kind of forgot about the mod. I think it's called like neighboring farmers or something like that. It just got released a couple days ago. So hopefully it's on the latest. Oh, okay, so it's not on the latest because it doesn't go down far enough. All right, there was another one that was, it seemed, I thought about doing it, and I thought it'd be interesting, but then after a while, I think I'd get annoyed by it. It's called the human factor, which add fatigue, hunger, and thirst. So you got to eat meals and drink water and rest between jobs. I'm like, that's not probably for this series here. But something that could be interesting further on down the road. Is it under gameplay? AI neighbor works on fields. That's what we're looking for. This mod spawns agricultural vehicles on foreign fields that perform field work there. This creates a more immersive experience on the map. So what's it called? Neighbors on the Fields. I think it's for PC and Mac players only. But AI Neighbors on the Fields is what it's called. So let's go ahead and go to back to here, and then we got to go down to Neighbors on the Fields. Ignore the warning. The hot air mod, if I remember correctly, it's just a money-making mod. Basically, you're selling hot air or something like that, which, okay. But it's a way to make money, I think. Let's see. All right, back in the game. Let me reactivate flight mode. I don't think we're going to see any AI workers right off. I'm not really sure how the mod works, but it does sound interesting. But we'll just have a quick look, especially when it's 6:30 in the evening in early spring. And maybe it would take a moment for things to spawn. Wonder how that would affect contracts and such. Couldn't tell if that was crop destruction or not. Alright, so I think we're all set to sleep to the night. So let's get back on down to the ground. I will have a look at the sale page. Ah, yes, I remember this stuff. But nothing that we need. And we got room for eggs to spawn. We do. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit the snooze button. We'll wake up at 8 o'clock in April. I think we're all set in our fields. Alright, rise and shine, sale page. Yeah, nothing there that we are looking for. In our new field, we should not have any weeds because we plowed it, but I just want to go over and double check. Yeah, no weeds whatsoever, so it's good to go. And there is one of our feed troughs for the deer. But you can see it still has 6,000 liters into it. The deer won't eat the hay until winter time anyways, so it's there. Let's get on up in the air. Just trying to see if there's any AI workers going in the fields, but right now I don't see any. Again, I don't really know how often it's going to spawn in, how many it will spawn in, but it'll get there eventually. Alright, let's get back on down to our fence, and we'll go ahead and get some milk back into the dairy, because I'm sure we got some milk made overnight. And then we'll get the grass cutting, and we'll see how the grass destruction works. Again, something with this cow barn, I think it distributes milk, or the cows make milk in even numbers, because I always get, I think I loaded up just a second ago with 5,000 liters, now I'm loading up 7,000. It's never like 6,523, it's always like 5,000 or 5,500, it's kind of like always an even number. So we need our batwing mower, which is right here. Is it on? It's on mower. We want it to be on swath mower. Alright, so if we have a look at our grass field, kind of an aerial view, you can just see it looks like a normal grass field. We don't see any bare patches. Nothing like that yet, but I'm sure when I get done mowing, we will see some bare patches in not only those grass fields, but this one over here as well. Just should have a look to make sure we didn't get any crop destruction from the borers overnight in our fields, and so far not seeing any, but we do have the feed troughs down, so hopefully that's going to keep our fields safe from any destruction. But right now everything looks good. Alright, let's go ahead and turn on the mower. Probably won't be able to see the crop destruction or the tear up of the grass field until, actually, I think it is that little patch there. Well, where was it? So we got a little bit of grass damage there. But that's what we're going to start to see in our grass fields the more we're in it. Not going to get any farmers in the field. Why won't we see any? Because that's what the mod says. I haven't tried it. So we are going to be making silage bales with this grass cut and sell them in May like we always do. Actually, I probably should just double check to see what I got for bales, but I think I've got plenty of what we need. So yeah, we can see a little bit, another bare spot just to the left of the batwing mower. Oops, you can see a little bare spot there. Now this is only going to happen in the grass fields. It does not happen in your other fields. I'm going to turn around and go this way. Just need to kind of look quickly in the bale shed. Down to 3 silage bales, so maybe I should keep some of those. And hay, I got enough for 2 more mixtures. But again, I got to remember we got to keep some for... Actually, I won't need them this year because the feed troughs won't get emptied until winter time. And then the contracts won't come up until next year. So technically I don't even need them for this year. Oh, didn't quite make it around that corner. There's not a setting for the workers, is there, for that mod? I didn't read on the mod, so is there like a setting I need to turn on or off? Max neighbors on fields. Compete for existing contracts. Field adjust for contracts. So max neighbors on fields. We'll put it at 3, see what happens. Compete for existing contracts. Sure, we'll turn that on. Field adjust for contracts. If no suitable contract is currently available, the game may adjust field states so new contracts can be generated. Contracts are only generated on fields that already match. I think we'll keep it like that. So basically, they will do contracts, it seems like. Which is interesting. So give a chance for the AI to maybe spawn in some workers, but from what branding is saying, it doesn't work or something. I don't know. We'll give it a try. Hello, Second Chance. Welcome. Hope you're having a nice Friday so far. Kind of forgot how big the hay bales are, just so I can prep for that in the future. I think they're 14,000 liters apiece. So 14, 18. So as long as I got 2 bales, then we should be all set. So if I just kind of get used to this new neighbors mod, if I just go to contracts, well, there's not many contracts to begin with. So other than bale wrapping. But then again, the workers, if they activated right away, they would have taken jobs and they're doing them. But most of the fields should be planted. So they might be doing like fertilizing contracts or something. And I don't know how far away they'll render in either. All right, let's get over to our larger grass field. I figured it out. I get a gold star. Well, that's a first. Yeah, I don't do well at the reading part. Never have. I may have read it if I was off camera, but I just remembered it when I was rolling the oat field. So you may have saw in the video earlier today, so these feed troughs we put down, like I said, I don't think we'll get contracts on them this year because the feed troughs are full. But if you wait until October, November, when they are empty, you will get contracts to fill them up. And the one I did in the video, I think I got paid $1,500 for filling up 3 of the troughs. So once we get this grass baled up, we'll be able to see the grass field a little bit better, and we'll probably see a couple of patches where I tore up the grass and it's not going to regrow there. But what they were saying in the video, I guess, after about 9 cuts, you'll lose about maybe 5% of your yield. Again, you can turn that on or off in settings under the Vredo pack. It does seem like maybe I'm losing more grass in this field, or it's just an illusion. If you're asking about the field to that left, yeah, that's the one we were just rolling in the stones a little while ago. That's the one I purchased on Tuesday. So since we are just mowing and baling, I'm not going to be in the grass field too much, but obviously every time I come into the grass field and do some work, there's a chance of me tearing up little spots in the grass field, even though it's not going to be like if I were to do donuts in this field. It's going to wear and tear up right where the tires are. I think it's just a RNG kind of a thing. of where the wear spots are going to occur. It is kind of an interesting way that Giants went about to take care of the wild boars destroying their crops. I was on the right track with the feeding troughs, but I was not thinking of feeding troughs for deer. And then a forest ranger is going to take care of the wild boars, I guess. They could have gone along the route of having traps. Now, when I mean traps, I don't mean to relocate them, not the other kind of traps, the harmful ones. So I was expecting to have some corn in stock or something like that. But since we're just feeding the deer in the wintertime, we can manage to make some hay. So yeah, so far we're just seeing wild boars. I'm not seeing the deer currently. And when I was making the video yesterday, I did not see any deer either. Now, the one thing I will say, this Vredo pack with the overseeding drills, if you're on a big farm with a big grass field, I think those drills are something that you probably would not want, seeing that the widest working with is 5.7 meters. Alright, grass fields are mowed. Let's go grab the baler and get this grass picked up, baled, and wrapped. Oh, there's a deer. Alright, so the deer aren't fully gone. But I mean, obviously you're not going to see as many deer as you did before, because I'm pretty sure they got to equalize it between the boar and the deer. They do exist. Alright, make sure to turn on automatic drop. Medium and large stones won't go back in. If I go over them multiple times, will they not eventually? First bale. So yeah, the little dark spots you're going to see in the grass field, I guess all depends on the resolution you're watching the stream in and the size of your screen. But those are going to be the destruction from working in the grass field. So right now this field has a couple of small patches that we see, at least I see. I should be checking on the price of cheese, although that price should be dropping. But if it's decent, we might want to sell it. Yep, there are debris crushers. We've used them. At least I've used them. I think it's $100,000 for the debris crusher, if I'm not mistaken. Construction. What is that under productions? It's either like 99,000 or 100,000. Right here, debris crusher right there. So what this debris crusher does, now you're probably thinking in FS22, the debris crusher, at least the one I remember in FS22, you brought stones to it and it made lime. This debris crusher, if you put this debris crusher down, it produces stone, so you can bring to the stone mason to make your cement bags, cement blocks, and roof tiles. So this building here just makes stones. But I do believe there is mods out there in 25 where you can bring stones to it and it'll crush the stones for lime. Yeah, that debris crusher I had to put down on Riverbend Springs because I was not getting enough stone off our fields to make all the product that we needed for the grain mill and also the pirate ship. Are these grass fields going to need to be refertilized? Yeah, this says no nitrogen in it whatsoever. So these need to be taken care of. So yeah, I may bump up the chances of AI workers in other fields. I got it set for 3. And it's been recommended maybe a little bit higher than that. But I also don't want to see like 10 workers at once either. That might be a little bit too much. I don't mind competing for contracts because our contract days here are, I don't want to say they're over, but we definitely don't need to be doing them like we were in the beginning because we got enough work to do in our own fields at this point. See, I don't have many wear spots in this grass field. We got a couple, but seeing it's only our first cut, we don't have that many. Might be more prominent in the bigger grass field to see more. Hello, Panther. A good Friday to you. Also want to have a look at the harvesters now that I got the mod installed. And see exactly how much they cost and how much horsepower they go up to. I don't want to go too extreme. But I also want the ability to get a bigger header for the combines. That seemed to fill up rather quick, which is good. So I think I got enough bales to last us until the next cut. We are a little bit low on the silage bales, but we can make it until August before we'll have another batch. But maybe to be safe, I'll keep... Darn it. I'll keep the bales that I made in the smaller fields. I'll keep those bales there, probably. So I can't really tell if me just driving around the field with a baler is causing any damage. I don't see any new spots showing up. Okay, you can see we got a tiny wear spot there. Got a tiny wear spot there. That one's a little bit more prominent. Yeah, but definitely in the bigger grass field, you can see a few more bare spots. And just again, you can turn that option off in the Vredo pack under settings. Hello, Cam Goose or Cam Goss. Not really sure how to pronounce that. I'm probably said it wrong both ways, but welcome. If you're asking if I built constructibles in Area 95, I haven't really built any constructibles on this map. But I don't even know where Area 95 is. Or Area 114. I don't even know where those areas are. But I haven't built any constructibles. Our farm is right here. Around field 40, 41, 36. I have no idea where 114 would be. There's 116. One 10, 11, 13, 12. Sometimes you just wish the numbers would kind of go in order. There's 115. Well, wherever it is, I haven't built any constructibles at all. I got buildings placed down, but not constructibles. Maybe after I get this done, we'll just fly in the air quickly, see if we got any neighbor farmers doing any work yet. And if not, then I'll jump it up maybe from 3 to 6. Well, I'm sure there's an Area 51, but I'm not sure if it's for aliens or not. So if you're just joining us, we do have the Vredo DLC running on this Let's Play. You'll probably see some wild boars here and there. We have put down the feeding troughs for the deer. And as for any of the machinery, well, I don't really need it right away, because we're not getting that much damage. It takes about 9 cuts, so about 3 years' time is when I'll need to reseed the grass fields. So these silage bales will be all set by 10:30 next month. Alright, let's spit out that bale and give that one a wrap. While it's wrapping, we're just going to go ahead and fly into the air. So you can see some of the darker spots, some of the light gray spots, and those are areas where the grass is not going to regrow. Got a couple of spots there. So overall, not too bad, considering. But you can imagine that this is only one cut. If I do 8 more, the amount of spots we're going to have in the grass field, that'll make it bare. Let's just see if we can see any of the AI or NPC farmers doing any work. And currently I don't see nothing. So let's go into settings. Oh, you can, no active neighbor contracts. So right now there is no one working. Did not know there was a setting there for it. And there's not many contracts to begin with. But I do, since we're here, I will show you in the Vredo pack, if you want to turn the wildlife crop damage on or off, you can do that. And the grassland damage you can turn on or off. Well, since we know there's no AI actually workers out there, let's get back into here. Bring the baler back. And I suppose we'll get right into fertilizing the grass fields. I think I got enough cow manure to do these grass fields. Actually, branding, I did think of you when I saw the hand tools were on the mod hub. At some point, we'll may end up using them here. Any of my fields need to be soil sampled before this one will after harvest season, but the rest, oh, these grass fields will too. So after harvest season this year, probably have to soil sample these 3 fields here. But for now, they're okay and good to go. Automatic application rate is on. And the good news is the manure goes right through the silage bales. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the wine on here if I ever eventually do get to it. But like the sugar beet, I'll probably have to use one of those harvesters. I think in making the wine, I do need sugar. I should have enough already in the trailer for the next field. Turned a little bit too late. So from a bird's eye view, we don't see that much grass damage in this field, but there are slight gray areas. And speaking of grapes and wine, further on down the road, when we do get this far, probably one of these grass fields will be the vineyard. I don't want to go too crazy on it. free fertilizer from the cows, and we got plenty of slurry. Cows make so much slurry, I don't think I'll ever go through as much as they make. I was going to up the number on the AI workers. Settings. We'll just go to 6. Because I don't know how it's going to affect the performance of my PC if I start getting a lot of AI workers out there. We got wild boars in that field over there. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that does seem like a mod that Mr. Silly P would go nuts for. I hope he didn't say it was a game changer. I know when he really likes a mod, he always says it's a game changer. I haven't watched any of his videos in a long time, but then again, I don't get the chance to watch many videos to begin with. Not like I used to. Not worried about if I miss little pieces of the grass field here or there with the manure spreader. We won't have enough manure to complete the whole field, because we never do. We have enough at the farm, just not enough in the trailer. We'll have to go back and refill. It does seem like the manure is not being used as much as it used to be. Nah, I think it is. I think it's being used about the same. For a brief second there, I was thinking I usually go through a trailer load on a headland in this grass field, but I don't think that's the way it was. Yeah, I think I usually get down to this end of the field and I just have enough to finish off this little section. So I am looking forward to harvest season this year again, because now with the mayonnaise production on the farm, as we saw last year, that is going to be bringing us in a good amount of cash. Now, as I mentioned before, I am done buying fields for harvesting. The only field that we'll buy now is to put a farmhouse on and decorate all around it. And we'll probably get the one that's right across the yard right now. But that's going to be in the future. Nothing. The dairy production is something I need to buy. Yes, I do have a dairy production on the farm, but I want to buy the dairy production on the map and get rid of the one that we have on the farm itself. Alright, any AI workers? Nope, none yet. So I got it set to at least maximum number of workers, 6. Probably next month we'll see some, because that's in May. A lot of the grass fields will need to be cut. So we may get some AI workers then. Or I should say NPC workers. And this little strip right here, and our grass field should be set for the rest of the year, I think. Let me just go down here a little bit just to be sure I covered everything, but I think I did. Yeah, we got it all covered. I just got to double check on the chickens and the cows. The cows, they may have TMR in that mixer. Didn't really park my dolly trailer in the best spot, but we got room here. I thought I left the Mercedes on the TMR mixer, but I did not. Alright, cows are definitely good for a few more months. The chickens... So just a little over 2 months. Oh, next month we'll have 20 more cattle giving us milk. So expect to get a lot more cheese. The chickens are good for at least another month. Alright, so they're all set. Thinking about maybe selling the cheese, but I did not check the price yet, have I? 1842, which is not bad. 43,000 compared to 45,000. I think we will. Oh, hello. I think we will go ahead and sell the cheese, and then I'll be bringing it to the warehouse, which I don't think I've been to. Trying to back up a dolly trailer is not my forte. All right, let's go. Whoop, let's go get the John Deere 3650. Then probably won't be selling any cheese until August, September, October. Let me narrow up the forks a little bit. Gotta find a better camera angle so the tree's not always in the way. Alright, so that should be all the cheese, because we only got 3 pallets now instead of 4. These collidable, these posts? No, they're not. Alright, that makes it a little bit easier to load these up. So those posts on the trailer are not collidable. I've always been avoiding them. So overall, with our environmental score bonus, this should be $50,000 worth of cheese. Yeah, good, they didn't tip over. Well, at least in the future, after doing all this, when I go back using autoloaders at some point, if people say, oh, you should load them up manually, I'll say, go check out the Pichonniere Valley series. But again, at some point, if we get to have too many pallets, and I'm here for half an hour loading cheese or something, then we'll think about using the autoloader. But for now, we're not moving that much. Park that in the shade. Looks like they're all strapped on. So now it's got to mark the warehouse because I have no idea where that is. I thought it'd be up at the store, but no, it's not. It's up here by the livestock market. Alright, so it looks like we're going up the hill anyways. Okay, beacon's on. Well, if there was a production that took cheese and I could do something with it, I would, because obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but for the most part, you should make more money. But there might be a modded one out there somewhere that takes cheese and does something with it. None that I'm aware of. There's a corner, although I'm not that top heavy with this trailer load, so yeah, gotta be careful we don't tip over. No super strength on this series either, unless it's absolutely necessary. So we've been up here before, but I don't think I've actually sold to the warehouse itself. Um, well, I see. Is that the trigger? So that's where you buy for the warehouse. Is that the trigger for selling at the warehouse? Warehouse. So that's the trigger for selling there. Okay. Just want to be sure I go into the right spot because with this trailer. Don't like backing up in it. So if you add all that together, almost 50,000. Slow and steady with the articulated trailer. We'll get it there. All right. Back to the farm. I think that's all the work I have for the month. Grass field's been cut, baled, and wrapped. Spread with manure. We sold the cheese. We fed the cows. Chickens need to be fed next month. Overall, I think we are all set. I'll feed Sam. Make sure I do that at least once today. So let me just have a quick look to see. And none of my neighbors are doing contracts. But there are really not a whole lot of contracts out there. I think the only ones they would probably do would be bale wrapping, but maybe not even that. So I do want to have a look at the combine that we may be getting in the future. Boy, that's a lot more expensive. If that's the base price of the base model, then... So yeah, the one we have is $90,000. I got lucky because we got actually ours on sale. It was the exact combine I wanted, and we got it on sale. So I paid like $45,000 for ours. The reason why I just want a bigger combine with more horsepower is it will reduce the amount of swaths we have to pick up. But one thing I am noticing, this is 313 horsepower, so I was restricting myself on harvesters. Nothing over 250. Maybe I can go up to 350 horsepower on harvesters. What does that do? Oh, it's just adding bigger tires and such. I do not know what straw distribution width is. Is that when you're doing straw, it'll just make it a wider... Or is that when it does chop straw? Probably when it does chop straw, it'll spread it out further. And then the pipe. The longer the pipe, the bigger the header I can have on there. All right, but that's going to be... Yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. But if the combine comes up for sale, it's something we may have to grab. And then we can do adjustments after one of those things. So there is that. So yeah, I don't think... Let me just double check on the chickens, right? Chickens are good for another, yes, 1.6 months. Yeah, let's go ahead and we will skip through the rest of the day, but we'll check the sale page here before dark, or at dark. And nope, nothing there that we really are looking to purchase. You want to do a cereal production that takes a whole lot of ingredients? Something like the bakery when making cakes, where you got to have like 5 or 6 ingredients to make a cake. And nothing in the sale page for us. So the chickens will need to be fed. Anyone taking contracts right away? Oh, we got, well... They are doing contracts in field 104. I don't know where 104 is, but we'll have a quick look. Where's 104? Where is 104? This is 103. Oh, they're way up here in the corner. Should be somewhere in here. Oh, there they are. So no, that is not... We're not on a multiplayer server. We're not... That's not a worker for one of us. That's another farmer on the map doing some work. So they took a cultivating job. Can I see how much they're getting paid to do that? Oh, well, I just realized they even got their own names. Neighbor Thomas. John, you're here as well. Then there's William. Oh, they're taking now they're taking a whole bunch of contracts. 1, 2, 3, 4 farmers are now working in the fields. So this is the neighbor AI mod. All right, so they're down here doing a bigger grass field. Let's go ahead and just visit. And they're trying to find their way to get the job done. And also, we got a worker... I thought it was this field. Oh, yeah, they are. Looks like they're doing a hoeing contract in that field. So now we got competition for contracts. Not that I'm going to get too involved with contracts. We've done more than enough on this series, but occasionally we may do some. But it'll be interesting to see, like, if I drive around the map and we see other farmers doing work, that's pretty cool. Alright, I need to go ahead and feed the chickens. We need to get the milk into the dairy production. And then also... maybe sell the silage bales. Don't really sell them today, but at some point we have to sell them. Does feel like my frame rate is tanking a bit. I don't know if that's to do with that many workers or not. Or is it just me because I'm in the farmyard? Look at that, 12,000 liters exactly. That's why I didn't want to boost the workers too much. I didn't know if it was going to hurt my frame rate and everything. Whoops, I didn't want to drop that off. But it could be just because I'm around the farmyard. Oh wow, it's even dropping down to the 30s. Which is, I haven't seen frame rates that low in ages. Winter wheat, I think, is what we are feeding the chickens, because I sold all the other crop. Yep. And I think 12,000 liters is the most they can take. So May, of course, not quite into harvest season. All right, so is there anything I need to be doing? I don't think so. Grass field is fertilized, kind of. That seems kind of low for solid manure that I put down. pH says it's good. Let's go ahead and let's just skip time to 11 o'clock. And these bales should be ready to go. They are. So let's grab our, well, you know what? Let's grab the, where is my Mercedes? Ah, it's over here. Grab the Mercedes and the bale trailer. I'm going to go sell these silage bales. And the silage bales should get us pretty close to 100 grand back into the bank account. Just going to be curious if my frame rate goes back up after I leave the farmyard. If it doesn't, I'm going to have to reduce the amount of NPC workers can take on contracts, because right now I got it at 6. And that might be a little bit too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all 6 are working. I don't want to reduce the amount of workers that I have, or not workers that I have, workers that are doing it while they're in the field, because I don't know if that's going to mess things up. So I'll probably wait until the end of the month and reduce it to like 4. Chuck Norris passed away. Well, I think a lot of people saw that coming. He's been in the hospital for a bit. At least a couple days from what I remember. No, my graphics driver is fine. This is kind of... I mean, 80 FPS is max what I get in Farming Simulator anyways. The reason why the frame rate is going to tank is because with 6 workers in the field, this is why Giants also restricts us from hiring too many workers, is because the game XML file in those fields are constantly changing. So it takes up a lot of RAM and all that kind of stuff. It's like I think base game you can only hire 3 workers, and right now we got 6 workers technically doing contracts. They're not for me, but as for the mod is concerned. So now that the grass is growing, you can kind of see the bare spots in the field from the grass destruction of just driving around in the field. And that is where the overseeder would come in handy. No, I think... I don't know why the number would be that high, but I think the max numbers it says you can have is 99, which would be just stupid. Set how many AI neighbors may work foreign field contract at the same time. 0 to 99. I don't know who would... if you can run 99 workers at a time in this game, frame rate may be down to like 1 or 2. But yeah, I got it at 6, which might be a little bit too much. Alright, so we're just going to go sell these at the BGA like always. So, I mean, like always, getting away from the farmyard. For some reason, the farmyards always tank your FPS a little bit. And sometimes it also depends on what side of the map you're looking on. But right now I'm back up, well, you can see the upper right-hand corner, back up around 60. But speaking of back up, our income or our money should be back up near 100 grand. Yeah, so over here I'm almost back up to 80 FPS, which is pretty good. And there we go, back up to 100 grand. 350,000 is what I need to buy the dairy production. And as we saw, in the dairy production, when we do buy it, I want to make... Nope, wrong one. I think it's this butter here. I think we want to make butter. Because it's a 1-for-1. And the butter price, this butter price is better than this butter price. It's a better butter price. Yeah, so over here I'm up in the mostly the 80 FPS. Almost peaked at 90. See what happens when I get back to the farmyard, but the problem is if it gets down to 30, it really is something I don't want to deal with. And so far, I don't see where we've gotten any boar damage, but we do got the feeding troughs out. So I don't know if the forester is doing their work. Yeah, this field to our right is eventually we're going to buy that and put down our farmhouse. Make a nice big yard. Maybe have a pond. Hello, Anita. Welcome. Hope you're having a nice Friday. And we'll leave the Mercedes right there. So right now my frame rate is back up to where it was. I wonder why it dropped down like the low 30s when I was over here a little while ago. This I can manage. You guys aren't out of straw, are you? Moo cows? You probably could use a bale. Okay. Yeah, they need some straw for bedding. So we're going to keep some straw bales from this year's harvest. We're going to have to keep some hay bales in case I need it for the feed troughs, and we're going to need some silage bales and hay bales to make TMR. So the wild boars, they're around. We've seen them quite a few times today. But we can go looking for some wild boars if you haven't seen them yet. Alright, my frame rate seems to be doing pretty good back around the yard, so... yeah, I'm not sure what that was all about. Let me turn that back off. Don't need to see that flickering up there. No, I'm not doing the houses same as we did in New Hope. Not doing that. We're not doing any forestry / sawmill work. Although I did do deadwood contracts in the beginning, but that's the extent of my forestry work. So Panther wants to see some wild boars. In the beginning, they were around quite a bit. Oh, we got some right here. I can't get too close, so let me go... let me do field of view, and we'll do it at 15. We'll zoom in a little bit. But there they are. They're in my field, but since we got the feeding troughs down, the foresters should be taking care of them to where they're not going to destroy our crops. Hopefully. Oh, I got too close. Even though I'm zoomed in quite a bit, we got a little bit too close for them. And might as well scare that one off as well. Let me reset the field of view. All right, there we go. So no crop damage here yet. No crop damage in that field. Canola field's looking good. So is that one there. Is my frame rate going back up? Yeah, we're only down to one job, so it could be the amount of workers that were there. Okay, now they're taking on more contracts. So they are taking the contracts that are available, so we are fighting for them. Looks like someone might be working up here. Yeah. And neighbor William and neighbor Thomas are currently the ones doing the work there. So that is an interesting mod for sure. Just have to get an idea of how many AI workers I can run before it starts causing too many issues with my frame rates. But we're not taking any crop damage yet from the boars because we did put down. We got one right here. We got 5 of them down. That's what Giants said that we need to put down about 5 of them. That should take care of the destruction. When you buy them, they do come with hay in it like this. Now, the deer, you're actually feeding the deer. The deer will eat the hay throughout the winter months. So December, well, I think it's November, December, January, February. They will eat the hay. And what the forester will do, he will help you, or they will help you, because you're feeding the wildlife. They'll, quote-unquote, stop the wild boar from damaging your crops. And in the months of October, November, you will get contracts for putting the hay back into those feed troughs. So that is how that works. Sale page, we did check on this here, but we got some new stuff there, but nothing that we need. I did feed the animals, so they should be all set. Yep, they're good. Yeah, they got a little bit of milk. And now all of our, well, all these cows right here. So we got 80 cows giving us milk. So we should see an increase in that. And the chicken's been topped off. Oh, are we getting low on... No, I can probably go another month on the eggs, I think. Well, yeah, the map does also depend on, if you're talking about the frame rate, the map does depend on it, but I haven't had an issue too much with the frame rate around here until really today. We dropped down to about the low 30s on the frame rate, which is terrible. So the grass field will be ready in a couple of months. Yeah, so I don't have anything else to do this month here. I'm not doing contracts, so I'll feed Sam just to keep the people happy. Speaking of Sam, here he comes. Let's get to the end of the day here. Check the sale page, nothing new. And, yep, let's go to June. Maybe the oats will be ready for harvest? Yep, sale page is nothing of interest. The eggs, we'll have to move those later on today. Question is, do I have any fields ready for harvest here? So, nope, 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 nope. So none of my fields are ready for harvest. And already we got someone, we got some contracts being taken already. Ronnie the Rooster's waking us up. Let's go grab the milk, get that into the dairy production. And move some eggs. Then we can go to the month of July. Unless I need to feed the cows or something. 12,200 liters. And how are you guys doing on the feed? You guys are good. The cows. Oh, the cows are good until next month. But they'll definitely need to be fed next month. So we'll turn that off there. We'll grab the John Deere to move some eggs. Actually, I might need some eggs in our mayonnaise production. Yeah, we'll put some eggs in there. Widespread, yeah. So we'll grab. And we'll grab 8 of them, I hope. And I think the drop-off point is around the left. I think it only takes 10,000 liters of eggs anyways. Yep. Right now, I don't have any pallets of mayonnaise. We sold it all. We don't have any more oil currently, but we will have when we do the canola harvest here very soon. So, let's see. Eggs have been moved. We got spot for that. Did I feed Sam this month? Forgot, but we'll feed him again just to be sure. We did the milk. The cows are good for another month. All of our fields. Let me just double check on the fields here. So, field 16, 94, no. 65 is the oat field, 38, and 24. The ones that are orange are the grass fields, but that's the first harvest stage. We don't want that. So, we are good. Yeah, let's go ahead and skip through the rest of the day. And we'll just check the sale page. Nope, nothing that I'm looking for. All right, let's get to... what month are we going to? June? No, July. We're going to July. I do hear rain. Okay, the rain's stopping. All right, it is kind of cloudy. Is there anything in the forecast for rain today? About 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll have rain. But let's see, we got field 16's ready, 94 is ready, 24 is ready. I think all of the fields are ready. So the fields I definitely want to get done are going to be 65 and 24 because I haven't harvested those yet. And if we go to our score in those fields, I need to boost up those numbers. So 76, 24 is a 76 and 65 is a 77. So let's get to harvesting. We need fuel. So the oats we are just going to store and sell because I don't have any use for it. Nope, I don't want that. I want... Nope. Let me fill up with diesel. Is it in the back? There we go. So actually, I'm going to actually slow down time to... You know what? I'm going to put it at real time. Because all the fields are ready. Is this in swath dropping mode or chopping? Dropping. Okay. So I definitely want to get the 2 new fields done first, because that'll jump up our... Already, okay, this already jumped up. This was a 77, was it? Now it's up to 99, which now means our bonus is back up to 13%. Bonus is good. I think the other field I got spelt in there. Maybe after this field, we'll go do one of the canola fields so we can get some oil production going, which will in turn get our mayonnaise production going. But I think mayonnaise this time of the year sucks for pricing. Yeah, it's not great. Definitely want to wait until maybe September, but definitely in January. But right now the price is like $3,800 when I could get almost $4,400 for it. So I guess it's not a major rush to get it done and try to sell some in the next month or two. So I'll probably do this field, then go do the spelt field. And this is why thinking about upgrading our combine and going over our limit that I set at the beginning of nothing over 250 horsepower and harvesters, just to get ourselves a little bit bigger harvester and header. Because it always seems like all my fields are ready to harvest in the same month. And harvesting for hours on end repeatedly, sorry, would just get boring after a while. So getting the job done is just a little bit quicker. But yeah, I'm at my max fields that I want for harvesting. I don't want to buy any more. No stock gets left behind. Hopefully the combine doesn't hit any of these tree limbs. Yeah, the oats I can't feed to the chickens, nor do I have the grain mill to make it into flour or anything, so we'll just store it and sell it in the winter months. And I might as well wait until after we do all the harvesting, but we'll have to figure out our crop rotation because we're running that mod. We want to make sure we get the best yield that we possibly can for the crops we want to plant, which is going to be canola and mustard. And also at least one field that is a cereal crop that I could feed the chickens with. If you're also thinking, well, maybe take out a loan and buy the other harvester that you're looking to buy at some point, that's another set rule we have on this series. We're not allowed to take out any loans. All right, in the fence, first thing we'll do is, since we're here, we'll grab the milk. How much cheese are we back up to, by the way? We're already back up to about $50,000 worth of cheese. And actually, you know, the price, it does look, I mean, it's almost, okay, not quite 200, but maybe like $170 under the best price. We're looking at about maybe a $5,000 difference selling it today compared to the max price. And by the time it processes this 12,000 liters of milk, We're going to have even more cheese. Oh, I thought I left... Nope, guess I did not. Leave nothing on the trailer, so... Keep using the Fent. Although, last year I used the Mercedes on the grain trailer, and... I mean, it got the job done, as you would expect. But all that shifting, because it's a manual transmission, was getting to be a pain in the butt. Just imagine if that combine did come up for sale, then I'd probably, although what I said was like $360 just for the combine, so even if it was half off, that'd be like $170,000 for it. I don't have enough in storage to make up that difference. I mean, the cheese is getting there, but that's still not enough. Is there a, probably not, is there like a good contract that Mercedes could be doing? Nope. Did you guys take all the good contracts? You're doing mowing, you're doing hoeing, you're doing mowing, you're doing mowing. All right. So this side of the field's got some good yield in it, 123%. See, it would be kind of cool if they would take someone would take that harvesting contract across the way. We can watch them kind of harvest the field while we harvest ours. It's definitely a mod that I'm liking so far. NPC or whatever it's called, contract mod, neighbor AI mod, I think. Something I think I talked about when FS25 was coming out. I was hoping that we could see other workers in fields, and the fact that someone got it to work is pretty cool. And the fact that now you kind of can compete, well, I wouldn't say compete, but contest each other for these contracts. Again, that's an option you can turn off. We just can't say, oh, there's a cultivating contract for 20,000. I'll accept it in a few minutes. You may not have a few minutes. Well, it does seem like, because when I sleep through the night and wake up in the morning, the second I check contracts, they're accepting them already, so you got to be kind of quick. If you're sleeping through the night, wake up in the morning or whatever time it resets to take on contracts, because those workers will grab them. So the wild boars heard it's harvest season, so they're over here trying to grab the grain off the ground, I would assume. Yeah, you guys go over to that field over there. I don't know what they got planted over there, but enjoy the crop over there. So really, the more canola and mustard I can plant, the better. Like I said, we just need about one field with a cereal crop in it that can feed the chickens. But of course, canola being made into oil, which then goes to the mayonnaise production. We got plenty of eggs. The chickens are doing that. And also, mustard is a good crop to harvest because we can make, well, mustard in the oil production building. I'm just curious though, because now I found out that mustard is considered a cover crop. What field are we in? So we can look at the crop. I said I was going to look at them afterwards. This is field 65. So if we go down to 65, so we're harvesting oats. So if I put in mustard, so mustard would just be 100% no matter what I do? It's interesting that it sees mustard as, well, it isn't, oh, mustard is kind of like an oilseed crop, so I guess that's why it's there. So that would just get it to 100% yield on that. Something I gotta figure it out afterwards, I guess. But I was just kind of curious to see how that would work. So financially, the way it's looking like, maybe by the end of the year, if the harvester doesn't come up for sale, we will have enough money to buy the dairy production. Because between the cheese and by the time we get to the winter months and sell the mayonnaise, I think we can make 250,000. So some of the straw we're going to keep, of course. It's for the padding to make TMR for the cows. and of course for their bedding as well. 10 bales at most. I still got like 3 or 4 over in the shed, but 10 bales is more than enough to get us by another year. So we bought this field, I think, back in February of this year, and it had triticale in it, which I could have harvested, but after we bought the field and looking at the stats of what triticale was going to do, the crop rotation was only at like a 90% yield, and then the field needed to be plowed. It had tram lines in it. So at that point, it was a matter of, you know what, let's just go ahead and plow in the triticale and get the field as best we can. I think oats, I think I got it to 120%. Yeah, crop rotation is 120%. So we went from 90% to 120% in the rotation. And the overall yield with precision farming went up quite a bit because we plowed the field to get rid of that. And then, of course, we did the thing we would have normally done anyways, which was limed and fertilized. Oh, yeah, we also got rid of the tram lines as well, so... definitely was worth it, I think. This may top off the trailer. If it doesn't, it's going to be very close. So honestly, I needed now to double check on that combine I want to buy and purchase and see what size header I can put on that. See what the biggest auger pipe I can put on and see what the biggest header I can put on to it. I'm not going to go with the biggest engine in that combine, but maybe up to that 350 horsepower. I think getting up to going from the 6-meter wide to a 10-meter wide header is really all I'm looking to do. was thinking, with all the harvesting we got to do and us cutting the grass, I was thinking maybe get this on a worker harvesting another field, and we could take the Fent, start cutting up the grass fields, put the Mercedes on the trailer. But the thing is, this combine, I mean, it's not filling up that fast, though, is it? Capacity is 8,000 liters. It's going to be a lot of just having to take care of the combine. Yeah, it's not really filling up that much, and I could probably cut the grass fields pretty quick. So the good news is we did go from March to we are in July so far today, and the boars have not created any damage. I don't have that turned off by accident, do I? No, they're both turned on. Grass damage and wildlife crop damage is on. Probably if I had put down those 5 feeding troughs for the deer, we may have gotten some crop damage from the boars, but I think we're, just by doing that, you're good. I suppose if I don't put the hay in it when October, November comes, if they need it, then probably we won't get the protection from the foresters. Oh, the other thing I need to check is make sure I turn back on autosave. I think I turned that off when I was testing a couple things yesterday. Nothing worse than playing for about 3 hours and then have a power cut or the game crash and all that work you did gets lost. I lost a lot of work yesterday as it was. So I don't want to do it again 2 days in a row. It does say saving, so I'm guessing it is on 10 minutes. Okay, that's fine. So while it's unloading, how are... Oh, we don't have any neighbors doing contracts? Wait, we got so many... I was trying to say, there's so many fields that need to be harvesting. Harvesting on field 49. That sounds like it's near us. Because we are in the 40s here. Where's 49? 51, 52. over here. So we won't see them harvesting that field. Oh, for your American Truck Simulator fans, that's following along with the Realistic Economy series. Slightly concerned. Yeah, Patrick is actually looking for someone to take over the mod, or his mods, because he really just wants to get out of doing mods for ATS. So I'm kind of hoping that he finds someone to his liking to take over those mods, and that we don't have any issue of his mod becoming obsolete. If it does, that could cause an issue with the series a little bit. But there are other economy mods out there. But just be aware, if you are using the Realistic Economy mod on ATS or any of Patrick's mods, he is slowly but surely getting rid of his mods on the workshop. Or if you are a modder in ATS and are looking to do a little bit more, Patrick is looking for someone to take over the mods that he has and continue them. And also, as we were, I was talking a little bit with Fat Clemenza last night on Discord, and actually it was a couple days ago. We were talking about Illinois, and then last night we were talking about the Traffics mod, which is a mod that Patrick was doing, but that mod got taken down, and he suggested another traffic mod to give it a try, which I hope I can get some recorded episodes out for next week. I think the only recorded episodes I did this past week was ATS on Sunday, and then this morning with this DLC that comes out on Tuesday. But it's going to be hard for me to get some episode recorded this weekend because Sunday I'm out of town. So I'm thinking maybe tomorrow I'll have to not stream to get some recorded episodes done, especially on Shamburgo, because I didn't do that last week. So we're probably going to end up with around 40,000 liters of oats off this field, which is pretty good. Maybe not quite 40, but it'll be approaching 40. So I'm going to have to really figure out the crop rotation and how the cover crop works. Because that's what mustard is showing it as a cover crop. But I'm not cultivating the mustard back into the field. I'm going to be harvesting it. So I'm not really sure how that is going to affect the rotation. Is the rotation is going to see that it was mustard the time before and think I cultivated it in? Actually, I have not seen. What does, because we are going to be making it at some point, hopefully next year. What does mustard sell for? I'm pretty sure I looked at this before. Why is mustard not... Oh, because it's called... Is it jarred mustard? Nope, there's jarred... What the heck is it called then? Second oil maker... Old style mustard. Okay, old style mustard. Old style mustard. There we go. So yeah, it sells for $16.41 per pallet. Or per 1,000 liters. And I think mustard, if it's like it was like on Pichonniere, it's going to harvest just like canola does. I know Pichonniere's had a couple of updates since I played on it over a year ago. And I don't know if the crop type has changed its look. But when I played on Pichonniere last year, mustard and canola looked exactly the same. While it's unloading, just trying to see if we got any more other workers out there. It's pretty cool how it even tells you, the field they're working in, what vehicle they're using. It even shows the value in the grain tank, the percentage of the field work done, and the implement that they're using. Pretty detailed mod. So we're almost done with our first field out of 8. Yeah, I think we got 8 fields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 grass fields. Yeah, so 8 fields. So I don't think I'll be selling anything this month, although that cheese price is not terrible, but of course if I wait until a better price, we'll get a couple $1,000s more for it. So I may as well wait if I don't need to buy anything. Although if that Kubota tractor, the M8, I think it's an M8 model, that is something I'm looking to buy as well. Not that I desperately need it. But I guess if one of those overseeders were to come up for sale, although I think I'd wait for the 5.7 meter wide one. So our oat field, I think it's my only oat field. I know the other, I got 2 fields of canola, this field of oats, 1 field of spelt, but I don't remember. I want to say maybe it's winter wheat that I planted. While it's unloading, let me just double check on that, but I think it's winter wheat. That's spring wheat, but I think it's winter wheat. Yes. And then that field up there, you can see blinking that spelt. So oats, winter wheat, spelt, canola. And speaking of canola, that's where we're going to head next. So yeah, we chase those boars across the road. Now there's over there in that farmer's field some kind of root crop. So, of course, with the canola, not going to get no straw from that. Oh, yeah, I think I need to feed the cows this month. I might do that right now before I forget and get too involved in harvest season. Yes, they do need to be fed. Let me just park the combine over here. I'll leave the engine running. Got to bring these oats back. So I'm guessing just about 34,000 liters of oats we got. I was thinking 40, but 34,000 is still pretty good. Now we got some TMR left in the mixer, but I don't think it's enough to fill up the feed trough. Actually, it's like there's nothing in there. I didn't think I used it all, but apparently we did. Oh no, because I fed them. So it's been taking the food out of there automatically, I believe. Alright, so 2 silage, 2 hay, 1 straw. So yep, when we cut the grass and make silage bales, I'm going to have to keep some on this next cut. We'll have them next month, so it's not like I'm in dire need of it. This TMR is going to last the cows a bit. I'm trying to spike this one here. I say spike even though I'm using a pallet fork. And if you are wondering, yes, this is a modded TMR mixer, holds a bit more than the base game one. Because you may be seeing I had 30 some odd thousand liters of hay. Alright, that should be a good mixture of TMR. $84,000 liters worth. There you go, ladies. All right, let's get over to that canola field. Yeah, so I don't think we're getting any hailstorms to speak of. We don't really have any hail damage from this planting season. Tornadoes, we haven't had one tornado that I'm aware of in the 9 years that we've been here. Many hours that we played FS25 here on the channel, we have seen many tornadoes and hail damage throughout our times. But in the past few months, not so much. Yield does seem kind of low. What's the crop rotation for this field like? It's got to be... Pretty sure I chose good fields. So 120%. Alright, so just in the bad part of the field, I guess. So of course we want to get this canola up, start making some oil. So that gets distributed on over to the mayonnaise production. Even though I don't plan on selling the mayonnaise until later in the year, it'd be nice to get it made and have it sitting there in case something were to come up for sale. And if I need the money, it's there. So obviously, if I want to plant canola and mustard for next year, we're going to have to turn these fields around because August and September is the month to plant that. And I always try to get that kind of stuff, especially when it comes to production stuff, planted in the first month. That way I can harvest it in the first or the earlier month of next season. Wait, it's showing rain in the forecast already? It's not supposed to be here until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Unless we're expecting another... Did they change the forecast? Okay, so 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I guess. Of course, it only shows up for every 2 hours, so it could have been 3 o'clock before, but it was showing 2 and 4. Didn't have the 3 o'clock hour in the afternoon, but now it does, so... But that should be plenty of time. Alright, first combine load of canola. Hopefully I can remember how to get back up to the oil mill. I'm going to try to do that without looking at the map. So probably with crop rotation in the two fields I got canola into it, probably won't be mustard. Well, mustard is considered a cover crop, so that still may work. But obviously you don't want to put canola in the same field twice in a row. That's going to drop the rotation yield down quite a bit, I would think. I would like to do sunflowers because we can make sunflower oil, and that then we can make mustard out. It's not mustard, sorry, mayonnaise out of that. But I would need a planter and a different header for that. So probably this field and the other canola field is going to have to be a cereal crop of some sort. Not sure I'll get a full trailer of canola off this field, but when we finish this field, we'll bring that canola up, at least get the process started. So this is field number 2 that we got to harvest this month out of 8. Although the grass fields are kind of small-ish. I just didn't expect all my fields to be ready in the same month again. Actually, I'm getting more canola off this field than I thought I would. So whatever we get for canola, oil is 50%. So for every 2 liters I put in, I get 1 liter of canola. So whatever number we bring up there, just divide it in half, that's how many liters of oil we'll get. But again, all of it's going to the mayonnaise production, where that mixes with eggs. And we get some fine French mayonnaise. Kind of has a slow discharge out the pipe, but you know, it is a small combine. Just seems like it's taking forever here. That's one of our feeding troughs for the deer, for the wild boars. We do have 5 of them down, so hopefully, fingers crossed, the forester does his part. So we really haven't had a chance to see our neighboring farmers working in their fields while we're working. We've seen them working. I have to travel around the map. But we haven't been lucky enough to get where they're working the field kind of right next to us yet. And it seems like my frame rate is doing okay, but then again, I think there's only one worker currently. Earlier, when there were 6 workers going, my frame rate seemed to suffer a little bit. I turn the combine off. All right, let's see. Beacon's on first. Let's see if I can find my way up to the oil mill. Don't know why I'm looking for traffic that way. There's no AI traffic on that road. There is on this one, though. I think I want to cut across here. So this is our other canola field that we'll have to harvest. Is it this way? I think so. I think so. And I go to the left. It's actually that building, I do believe, right there. Let's not go up to that guy's driveway like I did last time. It should be this turn here. Yes. All right, let's get that 17,000 liters of canola in. All right, now for our production buildings. So, canola oil activate. That should be on distributing. Yeah, right there, distribute. Then the mayonnaise production, canola oil mayonnaise. We got plenty of eggs. We'll activate it now. So you can see it's 100 canola. So I just put in like, what, 17,000? So that's 8,500 liters of oil. My brain can't do the math. But you can probably figure out how much mayonnaise we're going to get. I'll activate that. Right now it's going to come up material missing, which it is. Just going to wait for the oil to get processed. But at least when it does, we get the mayo ASAP. Not that I need it right now because I don't plan on selling it until, I think, December. But if the price is good and something comes up for sale, then we will definitely look at selling it earlier. Kind of hoping as we drove around, we'd run across one of the neighboring farmers doing work. Right now, I'm not seeing any. Do see some fields that need to be cultivated, though. That's something our Mercedes could be doing. Again, I don't personally want to be doing the contract myself, but since I got like the Mercedes is sitting back at the farm doing nothing, we can get one of the Franks to do it. That's fine. But overall, I think I'm done doing contracts. Actually, this tractor could just sit right here because this is the next field I think I'll be harvesting. So I'm going to turn that off there. And we'll get the combine over. The question is, can the combine go through... header trailers back at the farmyard? I think I can get through here. Not worried about here. I'm worried about this little section up through here. Looks plenty wide enough, actually. Well, maybe I shouldn't say plenty wide enough. It's wide enough. All right, so yeah, we got a canola field, we got a spelt field, and a winter wheat field still to get to. But that is going to wait for another time, I do believe. So we got any workers going? I keep saying, do I have any workers going? In field number 42, I think that field is down here they were working in, if it's the same one. I thought it was over here. Where are they working at? 42. I thought 42 was... Oh, I think that was 49. Wait, 42 is... No, there's 41 and 40. Where's 42? You would think you'd be right next to 41 and 40. I don't even see... Oh, way up here. This grass field. So again, this is the neighboring farmers mod where other farmers will go ahead and do contracts. So you're kind of in competition with them on the contracts. And this one, they decided to take a mowing contract. I don't know how much they're getting paid to do this. I kind of forgot, but I think it's like an $8,000 contract right here. Well, I mean, I'm in competition for them. We're not doing like financially competition. But it's a matter of when contracts come up, they can take them. They'll go out and do them. So we got that. And, oh, yep, still in fly mode. And, yeah, our fields have gotten away with no crop damage in it from the wild boars today. So that's good. So, yeah, we got this field here, winter wheat to harvest. The canola field we were just at. This field here of spelt we'll be harvesting as well, along with our grass fields, and then take care of a lot of other stuff still left to do in the month of July. And right now, I don't see any boars running around right now either. But if you were here today, you got to see them quite a few times actually. And yeah, but no crop destruction that we can see. But I think our feeding troughs that we put down for the deer and the forester is doing what he should be doing. So that's all good. That is all good. Yeah, but that's what I'm going to wrap up for today. Yeah, the only thing I released for an episode, recorded episode, was earlier today. I released a quick look at the Vredo DLC that comes out on the 24th of March and how the wild boars kind of work and a little bit about the overseeding of the grass fields. So you can check that on out. And I'm kind of hoping my next recorded episode will be ATS for Sunday, question mark. My next live stream probably won't be until Monday. I think I need to take tomorrow off from streaming and get some recording done tonight and tomorrow. Sunday I'm out of town, so I can't do it then. I should be back Monday streaming, and I think I'll be back probably here on Pichonniere Valley FS25. Tuesday will definitely, well, I shouldn't say definitely. Tuesday, fingers crossed, will be on Roadcraft. The new DLC for that should be out. So that's what I currently got planned. So I'm going to jump out of here. Appreciate everyone being here on a Friday to look at the new Vredo DLC a little bit. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a good weekend. And hopefully I'll see you all on Monday. But until then, have a good one.